Okay, gonna call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, consideration of any changes or additions to the agenda. There's two additions. One is the Conservation Commission was missed on here on reports. Then down on new business, I'm going to go through a letter that was sent to me from Mr. Chris Schneider. So, is there any other additions?
That's for class 4 roads.
Okay, approval of March 11 minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the March 11 minutes as written.
I'll second it. The ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on to reports. Highway and Transfer Station report. Clinton?
Basically, it's just been storm cleanup from the ice storm that we had. We still got a lot to clean up. Trying to get a little extra help, but not having very good luck. So we're just pecking away at it in between the snow and the rain and trying to grade some of the roads that are really, really bad. They're all really, really bad, but kind of hard to leave two guys chipping brush and one person go grade, so. I got culverts that are going bad, so I'm gonna have to order some culverts to get us by. I do have some I do still have money in the summer materials, so it's gonna be taken away from our gravel, but I don't really have much choice.
How many culverts?
I got 4 right now that have come apart and their bottoms are all rotted right out of them.
Yeah.
So, and they're $500 a piece now. So, other than that, everything's been going pretty good through the highway department. Jeff was gonna try to work on the paving grant. And,
It's due on the 15th, so I'll get that in.
other than that, transfer station, the HHW is this Saturday from 8 to 10.
What's HHW?
Hazardous
Household hazard.
hazardous waste,
Thank you.
It's from
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Saturday. Okay.
Other than that, I mean, it seems to be going good up there. We gotta still move the new building and get that stuff situated, but
Well, you've got your hands full with all
yeah.
this going on. Yes.
So that's all I got.
Any questions for Clinton on the highway and transfer station report? Okay, moving on. Treasurer's monthly income and expense report. Liz?
Not a whole ton of activity. The month of March was generally pretty quiet. We had a large CD that was put into place back in September that did mature in March. That will go, it's for the education fund payments that we make, but we were able to make almost $73,000 of interest income with the 2 CDs that we had this fiscal year, so it was put to work nicely. And really, we're just keeping up, highway expenses as they come in, but there's really, and continuing to chip away at the delinquent property tax. That has continued to come in, but everything's pretty slow this time of year. And my percentage is printed on the next page. Sorry about that, guys.
At least fuels stayed down in price, so.
Yeah.
Get rid of fun culverts, some culverts.
The other thing, I gave everyone on the board a copy of our final printed audit from the end of 2024. There is a copy available in the town office if anyone would like to review that, so just a note that a bound copy has arrived. I know it's a very hot reading item, but it is here and available, and a digital version is also always available.
Yeah, good. Any questions? Phyllis? Anybody have any questions, comments? Thank you, Liz. Okay, listers report. David?
So we wanted to wait for nice spring weather to start our site visits, which started today. Our fault that winter's still here again. So the site visits have started and they'll be done by the first week in May. We've got a few people that won't be back until then, so we worked on it all day today and will tomorrow and have a schedule for the next couple of weeks. I think right on schedule.
Did we lose it?
I don't know if anybody's on. Might not be anybody on.
I think it's still going, it's just.
Just nobody's there. Okay.
Yeah, everyone's on. Is someone supposed to be on?
I don't know. Just not usual to have nobody on. Any questions for David or the listeners? Thank you, David. Mount Holly Planning Commission report. John?
I suspect that John thought he was not gonna be on this month,
Okay.
cause that's the
The
usual.
rotating, yep.
That's the usual.
Okay. Well,
That's why we
pass.
thought we were
We'll
off.
pass through John. Conservation Commission.
Yeah, well, we have, Phil Leonard is gonna tell us about the Star Lake, I don't know what exactly, we wanna apply for a permit to do some harvesting. Anyway, Phil.
Yeah, I'm in the process of making an application, and what it would really help is to have the select board say, okay, submit it. The idea is to do some selective essentially like mowing along the top of the lake so that at least you could get canoe or a kayak out around. We've laid out plans for a pathways so that would be possible. And I've been involved more than I want to really in the application process. There's a lot of stuff to go through, and nearly finished with that. And Carol has just handed me addresses because we have to send notification letters and so forth. But it really needs some action here just to say, okay, do it, and it doesn't commit anybody to anything really, I think, other than to apply for permission. The apparatus that we have in mind is something we have access to. It belongs to somebody that has property on the lake, and I think it can do something that would open up the possibility of canoes and kayaks anyway being viable through the summer and not just in June as they are now.
Yes.
The only concern I have with that machine is that it has a tendency to leave the leaves in the water and they get clogged up in that grate. Because when we had the flood, that was a major problem with the leaves that were left that weren't getting picked up by that machine.
We actually had to have a couple people go out in a little flat bottom boat and try to clear that out during.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can offer the usual volunteer to help keep that, floods, what's.
Well, floods it's different, but
Yeah.
it didn't help that it did clog that grading all up.
Yeah,
It's gonna clog it even if we don't do it though.
yeah, it's hard,
Eventually.
it's hard to,
But-
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I'll make a motion to allow you guys to apply for a grant for harvesting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Yeah, it's a permit, not a grant, it's no,
Yeah, that's fine.
This is not a,
Permit,
no
so
cash
that's-
value.
That's fine, but
Yeah,
I do want to emphasize too, we just need to keep an eye on the grate so it doesn't
oh, absolutely,
plug that up.
absolutely.
Okay.
Can always exercise the valve.
Okay, well,
I don't know if that will do
It
it.
would fix the weed problem. If it didn't shut.
Well, if it drained, yes.
Then we could clean it up.
Yeah. Yes.
okay, so I'd like to report that we're about to restart the ash borer mitigation program for 2025. And we'll probably raise our costs slightly beyond the cost of the chemical, just to cover depreciation of the injectors, which Paul Fraser, I don't know if you all know Paul Fraser, but he's been wonderful in helping us to do that. And we're gonna lose, he has to take care of himself actually, so he's not gonna be helping this year the way he was last year. I'm sure he'll help a bit. And so, and also, it would be nice to clarify to us somehow or other what the process for ordering stuff is, because as we go along, and the window really for doing this is from early May really till the end of July. We have maybe 3 months, and we have 50 viable injectors and 30 that we don't know much about, that we inherited from the Wilderness Foundation, from the Farm and Wilderness, and actually they're in pretty bad shape, I think, but I need to look at them in detail. And so we may have to buy some more injectors too as we go along, because they stop working as well as they should. And so I hope we can, if we get held up because we can't order things and get it in time. That slows the whole business down very effectively. Last year, actually, I ordered on my nickel, the chemical, and I still have it all, so we're gonna use that and get reimbursed for that. But in the process, I would like to get reimbursed, and also we would like to perhaps order some more. So, and I don't know exactly when or how much we're gonna have to sort of borrow, really. I think Liz, probably you know, I think we were sort of even last year. We didn't cost any money, but we didn't spend any either. So, anyway.
Yeah, I have to look at the details again. I know we didn't proceed with the final reimbursement because you had hit spending, like budget cap, and there's not a big budget for the Conservation Commission, so it would be,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing it was around $800
Well, what we were,
for the,
yeah, but as I say, we have that, so I mean, we have that in hand, so we're gonna get that money back, but going forward, we need to borrow some before we can get it back. And in the past, we've had to stop because we didn't have enough. And then we had to come to you on 3 weeks later, and then we had to order. It wasn't efficient. Anyway, this is just a heads up in a sense, because we're gonna be all right probably through the end of May.
So what I would ask is put a list of what you need together and cost.
Yeah,
Then,
but it's not gonna be, in a sense, it's not gonna be cost, it's gonna be borrowing.
it's a cost up front. Then-
Yeah, it's a
then-
cost up front.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if we know what we have.
and you put the expected return with it.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly, yeah,
that's correct.
okay, yeah, I'll put that together for next month.
Mhm.
And probably, since we're not on next month, I'll just send a note.
Oh, that's fine, send an email.
The other thing is, we, unfortunately, Megan Litweiler has found the work for this Conservation Commission to be more than she can take with at the moment. She has a full-time job over at Dartmouth, which I think she does perhaps 90% from here, and she has a child in school and, family obligations and stuff. And so she's resigned from her, although we're keeping her on our list because she's very knowledgeable and helpful. And so basically we have an opening, and we will, I think, like to replace her.
Okay.
And
So you want a notice in the chit chat and put a notice on the newsflash,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
are you gonna do that, or should we?
I'll have to go back and see what Caitlin had
Before, okay.
made up before.
I think she put it on the flash and in the chit chat.
Yeah,
If there is an opening on the committee and if anybody's interested
Yeah.
to apply, with
Yeah.
a letter.
So that's it, then.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Okay.
Any questions for the Conservation Commission? Okay, moving on, new business. Beaver baffles for Hortonville Road.
Mr., I believe it's Edwards, talked with the wildlife, and they decided that trapping them wasn't gonna be a good exercise because there's so much food, too big an area. He suggested putting beaver baffles in there, and they were looking to see if the town would help them with the cost or pay for the beaver baffles to be put in. The only thing I can see with trying to put beaver baffles in there is that the dams are still there. So putting beaver baffles through the culverts is not really gonna solve the problem.
The water's still gonna rise.
I mean, yeah,
And it is rising.
yeah, because they're building the dams, and I mean, without getting landowners to open the dams, there's not much the towns can do.
Except for we have another flood that could wash out Hortonville Road. It could wash out Lord Road, and then it can go down and wash out a whole turnpike road to 103, Cole Road and then 103. So it's a long stretch. I mean, that's,
To me, it would be up to the landowners' responsibility, because the dams are on their land.
somebody has to prompt them to let them know the damage that's being caused.
I did talk to him.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think a beaver baffle's gonna work in the culvert, but
The only thing that'll do is stop them from plugging the culvert potentially, but they can plug in front of the baffles,
yeah.
so.
So that it makes them null and void.
It says it's a culvert.
No,
36.
No, it's
No.
probably 5
It's gonna
foot.
be 5 foot. It's a big culvert.
There's a couple of big culverts there,
Yeah, and
side by side.
last fall, we had the landowner that's being affected by the high waters coming in,
Yeah.
so.
But don't the beavers belong to the state?
They do, but the state don't own the land that they're on right now,
Well, they own the waterways.
so.
But shouldn't the state be the one stepping in instead of the town having to bear all this? I know we've paid Gary to go clean
Yeah,
out.
let me reach out to a warden.
There was something on the news a couple nights ago about beavers building the dams, and they were trying to get rid of the beavers by trapping them, getting them gone, because they were creating more of an issue. So I guess they've changed their mind a little bit on.
He doesn't want them trapped. He wants them live trapped,
Correct, the landowner.
the landowner.
Yes.
So
That would be up to the game warden, because they would have the live traps.
I'll reach out to the warden.
yeah, I don't
So I'll call Tim. I'll meet
I don't know how
with
to-
him over there.
know how that works.
So let me do that, and we'll,
And they're plugging the one up on Turnpike again.
So
I saw that.
is that, I'm just reading the Fish and Wildlife, it's like a 50%. It sounds like they'll pay for 50 and then
Was
it
that what
says
their
the
website?
landowner, yeah, it says the landowner would pay the other 50, I guess. Maybe,
Right.
maybe there's a way to at least, if we did do it,
Right.
not be upfront for the whole cost. Not that it's a huge dollar cost item really, is
No,
it?
not really. I mean,
It's just
and
like,
we've
Yeah,
got,
they're not a lot.
$500 or something like that, he said.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not a lot of money.
Just a matter of whether it's effective or not.
yeah.
Well, I don't think it'll stop the high water. That's the problem. So,
No, they had one in there before and it went out.
Yeah.
So,
all right, I'll reach out to Tim. Ask him what he can do, and maybe he can talk to the landowner and be a little more persuasive than the rest of us. Any other conversation on the beaver baffles for Hortonville? Okay, town credit card limit.
I think we should raise our amount on it.
What is it currently?
25,
$25?
no, 25. 2,500. The other day, the computer system needed to do update for our windows and it would not go through because we were at the limit. And then the highway department needed to get their pole saw, which there was no money on it, to go get it and they didn't have an account. So good thing David was here because he cut a check for them to go get the pole saw. But I just think we need to raise it because we can't have the computer system going down because then it kills my system. And I know the town uses it, the road crew uses it, I use it, the listers use it. I know, the select board has used it when Caitlin was here to pay for whatever she had to for the things. And I know we got conferences coming up for, the listers, I know have one sometime. And we have to pay for that along with the clerk and treasurer conferences. So,
We could just raise the procurement policy dollar threshold too, so that would.
So what are you looking to raise it? To
well,
2501?
I called Julie at the bank to find out what we had to do. And she threw out a number of like 4,000, but see, our credit card is a secured credit card, which I didn't realize that. So Liz or David or Julie said they could cut me a check and I can take it in and give it to the credit union. And they could raise it, and I just need the 3 signatures, David, Liz, and Cherie's. And then to say it's all right to raise the limit. It's not even the select board, but I wanted to run it through the select board. But she just threw out like 4,000, which she said would be, we'd have to give a deposit to secure it in the savings, so. But I wanted to run it by you guys and see what you guys thought.
I don't have a problem with it. You, Jeff?
Sounds like it's needed.
So. Probably should do a motion on it. So is there a motion to
It's
raise?
not, she's saying it doesn't, it's signature, but not by the board anyways, so.
No, it's by David, Liz.
Objections.
It's by the treasurer, officially, like that's, because I
Yeah.
oversee the bank accounts, but
Yeah.
I would appreciate an
Motion.
official motion to raise the limit, because that's spending, which is you oversee.
Right. I'll make a motion to raise the card limit to 4,000. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay. Reappointment Emergency Management Director, EMD. Jeff, you still interested?
Sure. Yep.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Jeff Chase as the EMD Emergency Management Director. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Reappointment Rutland Regional Transportation Advisory Committee Rep and Alternate.
Yeah, that was Clinton and Chad Farrar. I don't know if Chad
I
wants to
don't know
continue.
about Chad, but I mean, I'll still do it, so.
Who do we have for an alternate?
Anybody that wants to volunteer.
Mark, what is?
Don't like
Six
attend if
committee?
you can't attend.
It's
Monthly meeting.
Yeah.
Quarterly, monthly.
Yeah, it's monthly. A lot of times it has absolutely nothing that pertains to us.
Is it on
so
Teams
I
or
usually-
Zoom?
Uh,
Is it on Teams or Zoom?
Yeah, it's on
You
Zoom.
did it one time, Jeff.
What's that?
You were an alternate at one
At
time.
one point, yeah, I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah.
again. I never attended, it wasn't much of a.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the alternate.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean.
So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to, make Clinton Woolley the Transportation Advisory Committee rep and Mark Turco the alternate.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Reappoint Rutland Regional Planning Commission Commissioner and Alternate.
I don't remember who was.
Jessica Metcalf and John McKeon. I know nothing about either one of them.
John was the alternate, or?
Yes, because Jessica was the primary.
Well, it says reappoint, so.
So I'll make a motion to reappoint Jessica and John for the Rutland Regional Planning Commission, Commissioner and alternate, if they so wish.
Second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
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 Review and sign Rutland Regional Public Works Mutual Aid Agreement.
That was Bridget Rose.
No, are there any changes?
It's not it.
No, I don't have it.
Is that a yearly thing or is
It's a
that?
yearly.
It's a yearly.
Yeah.
There's no changes, I believe, to it.
Or I'll make a motion if there's not any discussion. I make a motion to sign the Rutland Regional Public Works Mutual Aid Agreement for this current year.
I'll second it. The ayes?
Aye.
Aye. Readopt town alcohol and drug testing policy.
That only needs a motion to just
Is there,
readopt.
I'll make a motion to readopt the town alcohol and drug testing policy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Certification of compliance for town road and bridge standards and network inventory. Okay? I don't believe there's any changes to this either. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the certification compliance for the town and road and bridge standards and network inventory.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye. Volunteer for Zoom recording of public meetings.
We put that on there because now we have to include a whole lot more meetings into the system. And we do need to have somebody else who is knowledgeable in operating the equipment here to be able to fill in and do recordings for us. Cause like we've got the Board of Civil Authority, we've got the Conservation Commission and every other Board of Adjustment and any other thing that comes up.
And they have to be Zoom live.
Yeah.
So, is there a volunteer?
We may have to put a notice out
So-
for one.
Yeah, I would say let's put a notice out in the chit chat and on the news flash and see if anybody's interested in volunteered to be a Zoom recorder for our public meetings.
Is there any way to include at least a general idea of schedule for people in that? So I know you mentioned on board that I don't know what that.
Yeah, I don't know all their times off the top of my head.
It would be tough. I mean, some
I
of
know
the
it
regular
varies.
meetings, that would be good, but
Yeah.
when you've got Board of Civil Authority, Board of Abatement, and then you've got the
Yeah.
Board of Adjustment, those are
It might help so someone knows what they
off schedule.
could be.
So we can reach out and see if we can't get a list of times.
Yeah, at least the set time.
Especially for like the planning commission,
Right.
you know, the conservation commission and recreation commission and,
Public recreation
So,
is only.
I know.
No, the
So-
Planning Commission, I believe, takes care of their own.
Do they? So,
Yeah, I just wonder when I hear you ask if we know what that could look like or something.
so,
Closing it up.
and maybe we can get somebody from within the commission to be able to do the operation of the Zoom as well. So,
I think the Conservation Commission is close to being able to handle it themselves.
that would be awesome.
Isn't it?
That would be awesome.
He's laughing.
So, but for any of the other meetings,
I
you
didn't,
have to have somebody that's.
but what is the requirement here? I didn't realize there was a requirement, because we only recently,
Yeah, it's, the state put a lot of different regulations out there that
Open meeting law.
open meeting law that has to be all on Zoom recording. So,
Zoom available.
yep,
There's a public info training, maybe we could send them.
Yep.
The video.
yeah.
It's something on YouTube.
Yes, Steve.
Well, just two things, if you're gonna need more than one, if you're gonna try and do it from somebody within each commission. And is there another way to reorganize some of the committees so they don't require to be under the open meeting law? I don't know what the requirements are.
Not that I know of off the top of my head. I thought you were volunteering with your arm. I was gonna make the motion for you to, do that, cause I saw your hand up.
How much maple syrup you're gonna give me?
How much money do you have? So, anyways, we'll put it out there to, see if, anybody's interested in doing that, and we'll try to get a schedule together. Mm-hmm. Any questions? Okay, moving on to a letter that was sent to the select board, attention to me. It's quite a lengthy letter. So I'll read the letter so it's on record. Please be advised, as I am now aware of the fact that 162 Summit Road Extension has been falsely transferred to my knowledge after December 2024 or possibly January 2025. How I found this problem out, I sent a letter to the Planning Commission about possibly subdivision. In ways informed,
And was.
and was informed, land did not belong to me. Now the deed in title shows I own it, as I had copies at home, 162 extension, Summit Extension in Mount Holly, December 24. It also shows or showed that or listed me as owner of Class 4 road, as I gravelled it, plowed the road, graded the road, sanded the road for years, on and off since 1977. The bottom line, there is a trouble in River City. I understand there are new laws effective January of 2025 as to new requirements in the state code of ethics. Please understand, I am not blaming the town or its employees. I plan to send a letter to the state of Vermont. It's a family problem done the wrong way. Thank you, Chris Schneider. Now, first of all, it's a Class 4 road. It's a town Class 4 road. The road was not thrown up in any way, shape, or form. So,
Faith can answer more.
Well, I can give some
absolutely do, Faith.
information as to what has precipitated this.
Yep.
Mr. Schneider wrote to the town clerk at the end of February asking to subdivide the property which he described as his. I responded to him on the 4th of March, clarifying that according to the town records, he does not own the property. He signed a quitclaim in 1988 on the property. He then subsequently sent me a letter saying rather similar things to the letter that you have just described, and that he is going to take civil action. I have not responded to this subsequent letter.
I just wanted to make sure that this was brought up in this meeting, to put it on record that I don't know about his property. 162, the only thing that I'm addressing is the Class 4 road that he's trying to claim as his road is actually town road. Because it was not thrown up at any point in time. Any discussion, any questions? Yes, Dennis?
So, in about 1786, the turnpike was laid out from near Wright Construction all the way up through, right up through Summit Road Extension. Summit Road crossed into, so it was connecting the turnpike from Ludlow, Windsor County to Shrewsbury, Rutland County. Mount Holly wasn't even a town. So that definitely predates anything that he said he's done, and I know it's on the town maps as a class 4 road, so definitely hasn't been thrown up.
No, it hasn't been thrown up, and, any maintenance has been done on any class 4 road has actually been the individuals do their own maintenance. Yes, Liz?
I would just say other public information. I believe there's some family disputes in that.
Yeah, and
Mr. Schneider is
I'm
currently incarcerated.
yeah, I'm trying to stay out of
Yeah.
all that
Just
family.
may or may not be having some
Right.
mental health
Right.
challenges.
Correct. So yes, there is some issues going on. I don't want to throw that kind of laundry out to the town and to the public. So, because it's not my business, and in my belief, it's nobody's business but their own. But just putting the letter on record that the town class 4 road is the town road. It does not belong to Mr. Schneider. So with that, we'll leave that alone.
And then Faith has the issue of,
I don't
Yeah,
have an issue, I don't.
there's no
intend to
response.
pursue it.
There is no response necessary on that. So,
I will await any further action from the
Correct.
lawyers.
yes, correct. Then we'll talk to the town attorney, so at that point.
thank you for handling it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to ongoing and old businesses. Approve easement deed for Green Mountain Tower, easement on Green Cemetery. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the easement deed for Green Mountain Power to the Green Mountain Cemetery on Route 103.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
I was just gonna ask one question on that. So does that give the location of the new pole? on-
They actually had a post and a flag right behind the guardrail.
Okay, so it's way down by the
It's
guardrail.
down by the guardrail, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Veteran Monument Repair Update. Dennis.
So I've been in contact with Angus Farron, who thought he was gonna get a chance to do it last fall. He said he'd get it done before Memorial Day weekend, and that's, it was important, and I agreed with him that he was gonna do it. We raised over $2,600 in the account for a $1,500 job. So there's money there, maybe we can do a little cleanup around there or do something. I'd like to get the bronze plaque, I can probably get some polish and clean that up myself, because it's been weathered for it's over 60 years, probably 62, 63 years. So yesterday, one of the board members of the community association approached me about possibly moving the monument, since the repair hadn't been done, about moving it. And I said, well, maybe it could come down here or something. And she said, well, when they plow the access to the downstairs community center, they come pretty close, they're worried about hitting the monument. And I said, well, the guy's been gonna do it since last year, and he's finally gonna do it, and so I haven't gave her an answer yet, but I'm thinking about telling her that me or town, I'd be willing to put a stake out there right next to the monument that's 6 feet above the ground, colored orange or whatever, because we do it for other areas so they don't hit things. So I'm willing to do that, but I don't know how you guys feel. It was paid for by some local people to have it built for the memory of the veterans and stuff. Been there a long time, and I don't know if they can plow something a little different, but the 2,600 wouldn't pay. The quote to rebuild it was like 5,000, and he's just gonna do the repair, and I think Clinton had a couple pieces of slate they were holding on to for the top, so they could put it on an angle, so that if the moisture ran off it, it wouldn't freeze and thaw all the time. So, I just wanted you to be aware that I'd been asked about possibly moving it, and I don't think we wanna go that route and stuff. I mean, there's room, and it probably would be appropriate, but I just don't think it's necessary. Otherwise, we gotta, ask for some more donations or something.
We'd have to provide a cement pad out here.
Yeah, you'd have to do something.
Right. Yeah, we'd have to reach out for donations, because there's no funds in the budget. We didn't budget
But
anything.
it costs us about twice what we've got. Like, we've got more than enough to cover what's there, but I wanted you to be aware
Okay.
that right now, we're gonna move ahead and get it repaired.
Yeah.
And we'll do what we can and talk to the snowplow guy.
I
or
think you
something.
got a few extra bucks in there, you can buy one of them fiberglass orange poles.
We could do something.
Yeah.
So, now, Clinton, the town's not plowing that little area, right?
No.
It's somebody else is
Yeah.
doing it, yeah. It might be
Okay.
Russ Garrow. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Endeavor Ops Town Government Domain Update. Liz.
That's you, Liz.
I didn't hear her.
She doesn't have no knowledge of that.
We found a bill, or I noticed a bill yesterday for $45 for this Endeavor Ops, town.gov.
Oh, are you wondering what the bill?
I was wondering about the website. Are we utilizing this website? And if so,
We pay $45 quarterly to host our website, but it's not a separate payment for .gov, it's just for our website.
our website, we got the payment for it that same day, yesterday.
From Endeavor Ops?
No, it was from
We have a
Honeywell.
I think it was GoDaddy had the other one. So this came up when we were reviewing the invoices, and the question that came up was, so it looks
Probably
like,
right here in that packet.
yeah, it looks like we were paying hosting for the .org
Probably pay for the name.
website and the .gov website, which either one you type in goes to the same site.
Yeah, we're not, so GoDaddy, I just saw the bill over there, that's the web, just to pay for the website name, the domain,
Okay.
which is a different fee. I don't know, I saw this bill, this should be run by,
May
I
I
would
look at it?
suggest Larry Gold, who set that up.
He wants to look at that.
May I?
Yeah. I'm good, it's public info.
Just keep going, because there's
But
another one.
Endeavor Ops is the company that we've paid quarterly as long as I've been involved with the town. We pay them $45 a quarter to host our website. So the hosting is different than the domain name. I've never seen a bill for the domain name. I'm not sure that's a legitimate bill.
I believe this is scamish.
Yeah, that's,
Did this get paid?
no,
Good. Well paid, alright.
yeah. I don't think this is a
I can
legitimate
dig into it more later,
bill.
but it says this annual domain name listing service. It's not the actual domain name or the hosting. It's just like
Okay.
a
So that's a scam.
yellow page.
National Domains is what our Mount Holly website is. And we paid $224.
We didn't pay it. That's what he just said, this bill appears to be a scam, it should, I don't believe we should
That
be
one.
paying this.
I don't know what she's looking at, but. the
She's
one-
saying national domains. That's
Because
not a
when
bill we've ever paid
Entered the
before.
bill, there was not, it always defaults to the previous transaction and there was nothing in
There
the
is no-
system. So I just said,
This appears to be a.
Oh,
Okay, so that one is the
That's a
scam.
scam.
So,
Correct.
alright, so when we're reviewing the bills, the two different ones made it appear that we were paying two fees, one for the .org and one for the .gov, so that was the question.
There's no fee for .gov.
No, they're actually had something else on
Yes,
this.
Endeavor Ops, we did have a $45 fee.
We pay them
That's,
quarterly.
that's the quarterly payment.
Yeah.
So that one, I think my wife actually got one too for our website as well.
Yeah, they'll send stuff like this in
Hoping
hopes that you pay.
Hoping you pay
Yeah,
it.
they do it, I've seen it for like SAM, renewing your
Yeah.
SAM number, the cost,
Yeah.
they try to charge you $250
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
that's free.
So,
Thank you, David.
okay, so,
Dawn, for catching it.
But if you ever I'm happy to answer a question like that versus putting it on the agenda if that ever comes up again, reach out to me.
Well, I thought maybe we had 2 entities and we only needed the one.
so
No,
that one
we
is.
do have the .gov as well as the .org, but there's no fee.
Right. So that one's cleared up. So that's a scan
Yeah,
letter.
cross line.
So, okay, we're gonna move on to citizens' concerns, comments. Wow, quiet today. Okay, moving on to announcements and other business. School budget revote, April 22nd, 2025.
And I do have absentee ballots if anyone would like to request one.
Okay. Okay,
Can we just walk in and pick it up?
Yes, you can after you fill out your form, yes.
What form?
That's a deep ballot form.
To request
All right.
okay, I'll repeat that one more time. School budget revote, April 22nd, 2025. 10 to 7? Is that what you said?
Yep,
Okay.
10 to 7, right?
10 to 7.
Right here at the town office.
Okay, review and sign orders. I don't have anything for executive session. Or is there something that I need to know?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's
Yes, we do.
session first.
Okay, I'm gonna make an motion for executive session Title 1 VSA S 313A3 for personnel. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
The ayes? Aye.
Aye. Well, I forgot all about that.